Don't miss the awesome Naruto stories my sister creates. Her last channel was hacked, so to stay in the loop, please subscribe to her new channel. It would mean a lot to her, and you won't regret it. Hello to all lovers of lemon scenes. I invite you all to my boosty so you can watch your favorite Naruto What If stories in complete comfort. A subscription to Naruto Lemon, the first video with a full lemon, is already on my boosty channel. Dare! Gaara, the girl asked, looking at her brother in bewilderment. Why did you decide to visit Konoha right now? And take me with you too? This is the Hokage's request. But why me, and not Kankuro, for example? Temari, it won't be long. Kankuro stays in Suna in my place. And anyway, how do I know why you are needed in Konoha? Go to Tsunade and find out, the Kazekage answered, turning his attention to the documents. So I'll find out. Desert exclaimed, slamming the door with a bang. I'll understand what you're up to, brother. Temari walked through the village, glaring at everything in sight. People made way for her, fearing the wrath of the Kazekage's sister. And only one girl, completely unafraid of the girl, approached her. Temari, she said. Has Gaara-senpai already told you when we are going to Konoha? Are you with us? The fair-haired girl was surprised. So there will be something interesting, Temari said, smiling devilishly. Looks like we're leaving in 3 hours. Thank you, Matsuri said quickly. See you. To her. And again the girl with 4 tails was lost in thought. She understood that she wanted to visit the village hidden in the foliage, she desperately wanted to. Her gaze turned to the sky. Lazy clown, she whispered. Are you okay? Tsunade-sama, did you call? The Jonin appeared from the haze in the middle of the Hokage's office. Yes, the woman said, putting away the sake bottle. 4 hours ago. I'm tired of your habit of being late. We are all not perfect, the copy ninja noted, looking at the closet. If you're talking about that box, then I threw it away, the Hokage answered. Oh really? Hataki's eyebrow rose. Or maybe you had a drink? Stop clowning around, Kakashi. By the way, I have something to do with you. Oh really? The Jounin was surprised again. Shall I bring another box of sake? Hataki! Shouted an angry Tsunade. I'm silent, he said with a slight grin. Tomorrow the Kazekage, his sister and student arrives in Konoha. Prepare hotel rooms for them and, there will be a shinobi meeting soon, I will announce it a little later. Something serious? Kakashi asked, taking out his favorite book from Jiraiya. No, nothing special. Can I go? Yes. The Jonin disappeared as suddenly as he had appeared. We must ban the printing of these books, Tsunade muttered, opening another bottle. Otherwise, soon everyone will find out where my love is kept, and, glancing briefly at the closet, she again began to sort out the documents. Good evening, shinobi of the leaf and guests from Suna, Tsunade greeted the crowd. You're probably wondering what this urgent meeting is? Now I will explain everything. I, as the Hokage of this village, decided to conduct an experiment. Its meaning is as follows: after living with a random partner for 5 days, you must answer the question, what is love? I'll say right away, objections will not be accepted. A dissatisfied roar swept among the shinobi. Anyone can participate. To do this, the men need to approach Shikamaru and pull out a number from the box in his hands. The woman with exactly the same number on the license plate, which she takes from the box in Ino's hands, will become his partner. All clear? Nope, repeat. Naruto exclaimed, scratching the back of his head. Let me explain again. You stupidly pull the number, find a partner and live with him for 5 days. You cannot exchange or refuse to participate after you find out who your partner is. What is the prize? Kakashi asked without looking up from his book. A month of rest, no tasks. Isn't it too little? Shikamaru raised his voice. That's enough, the Hokage snapped. Well, pull out your tickets, friends. And, if anything happens, it's not my fault. Will you participate yourself, Tsunade-sama? Sakura asked. Who would refuse a month of freedom? The woman said. Get the box here, Ino. Eat. The girl exclaimed, heading towards fifth. At first, the shinobi were afraid to take it, but as soon as Jiraiya and the Hokage each took a number, everyone suddenly reached for the boxes. Of course, Shikamaru, overcoming his laziness, was one of the first to take out the card, and Temari, noticing this, proudly walked towards Ino and pulled out a number. Kakashi surprised everyone, who, continuing to read the book, also chose a piece of paper with a number. Sakura hurried towards Ino. She looked at her with a grin, apparently understanding why her friend decided to participate. Little by little, the pieces of paper became less and less, and the shinobi looking for related numbers became more and more numerous. Well, have you all found your matches? Tsunade asked. We'll meet here in 5 days, at the same time. All missions are cancelled for convenience. Disperse. And one more thing. Just try not to live together. If I find him, I'll kill him. Smiling, the woman turned to Jiraiya. Well, what are you up to again? He asked, leaning on the railing. You'll see, Fifth grinned. Well, what number? Second. At your place? The Hokage looked at the card and, looking at the man, replied. Same. And why did you have to get the 7th number? Temari started screaming from indignation. What's wrong with that? Yawning, Shikamaru closed his eyes again. I can't stand a day with you. You're so lazy. But in fact, the girl was trying to hide the joy that was rolling in behind a mask of discontent. She got the one with whom she dreamed of spending at least a day together. Who forces you to be with me? Well, Tsunade-sama said that all couples should live together for these 5 days. The kunoichi suddenly lowered her head a little. Are you going to listen to her? What's wrong with that? She blurted out, looking at the guy. You are always so independent. I just don't want to get into trouble later. This doesn't sound like you. Do you know me so well to say this? Pustinea's dissatisfaction knew no bounds. Who are you anyway? Your partner for these 5 days, Nara continued, smiling at the corners of his lips. Now let's go to the hotel and pick up your things. My apartment is small, but there is enough space. The main thing is to come up with an answer to the question asked by the Hokage. That is? I think we shouldn't cross paths this time. Everyone already suspects that we have a relationship. I don't think there is any need to complicate the situation. There will be no benefit from this. Will we just spend the night in the same apartment? Yes. Then they walked in silence, each thinking about his own. Temura's POV. Get comfortable, said Shikamaru. The apartment is at your disposal. If you need something, go to the store. I see, I nodded, looking at the photographs on the walls. I'll come in the evening. The shinobi disappeared. I'll wait, I answered with only my lips. Deciding to look around the apartment, I headed to the living room, where I would spend the night. Next are the kitchen, bedroom and bathroom. The entire house was decorated in light beige, my favorite colors. It somehow warmed my soul to be in this apartment. I wanted to be here always. No, it doesn't look like me at all. Okay, Temari, pull yourself together. I can't be the same as Hinata in Naruto's company. I don't care, I shouldn't care. Looking at the next photo, I could not hold back a convulsive sigh. Walking through the rooms again, it became clear that they needed a thorough cleaning. The day passed surprisingly quickly. By the end of it, the apartment was sparkling, and a still warm dinner was smoking on the table. Only he didn't come. After waiting until late at night, I went to bed. Shikamaru is probably at the springs now. Or maybe in the company of some beauties. Where are you, my lazy clown? Sleep overcame me, and only 2 wet tracks on my cheeks, not yet dry from tears, reminded me of sad thoughts. Morning. He never came to spend the night. What a fool, he doesn't understand anything. Well, okay, don't care. Take a break. This is exactly what I need. I'll call Matsuri and we'll train together. At the same time, I'll find out who this girl got. Grabbing my favorite fan, I headed towards the hotel, hoping that Matsuri had not moved out. The kunoichi burst into the room, blushed, and closed the door. Apparently, they have already sung together. I didn't think that my brother would take the initiative into his own hands so quickly. So far it has only come down to kissing, but I think everything will change soon, and I will be babysitting my nephews. Okay, maybe there's at least someone on the training ground. No one. Emptiness. Am I the only idiot who doesn't even communicate with her partner? Beautifully simple. The training has begun. I try to distract myself by throwing shurikens at a tree. Before my eyes is the image of this lazy clown. I kick the tree with all my strength, and with the next movement I take out my fan and use the cutting wind attack. After I felt that it became easier, I took a break. I climb onto a tree branch and start watching the sky. Perhaps you are lying in exactly the same way right now, looking at one of the clouds. Do you remember me at least sometimes, Shikamaru? Shikamaru's POV. I lie down watching the sky. Several hours have already passed, but I can't get distracted, your image constantly appears before my eyes. I remember you said that I looked like a buffoon, a lazy clown. Now it has become your habit to call me that way. We never communicated on topics not related to work, which is a pity. How I would like to know everything about you. Starting with your favorite color and ending with you. I wonder, have you already seen that photo that was taken before the Chunin exam? I still have it, yes. Hanging on the wall, so dear and beloved. After all, we are there together and even standing next to each other. How I missed you, Tamari. Is it just me, or am I no longer the lazy clown I used to be? I wake up and realize, I slept on the roof all night. I wonder if Tamari was worried about me? Not likely. She is probably still sleeping, or perhaps she has already gotten up and is waiting for this experiment to finally end. So much time has passed since our first meeting, and I still can't tell her about my feelings. Just like Jiraiya can't confess to Tsunade. Yesterday, when I was heading here, I saw them together. Has fate given them another chance? Shaking my head, I stood up. I need to get some air. I don't want to go back to the apartment and again hear complaints about what a bad partner she got. Where should I go? Maybe in Ichiraku? Yes, I guess I'll do that. Stretching, I headed to where we usually gather in a large group, discussing the past. Old missions, training. Sometimes we remember Sasuke. What can I say, it's still hard for Sakura to hear about him, and yet she overcomes herself while in our company. Laughing and being upset. Here I am. I order ramen, then sit waiting for my order. Suddenly Kakashi Hatake comes in and asks the owner of the establishment to cook him the same thing he cooked for me. What wind brought you here, Kakashi-sensei? Did Anko really fall out? Yes, it would be better if she did. I'm here thanks to a tornado named Sakura Haruno. Have you come across Tsunade's student? I looked at the man in surprise. Sorry. Why are you sitting here, Shikamaru? Is it really a bad couple? That's not the point, I shook my head. I'm just lazy. Laziness? I don't want to confess my feelings to her. All women are so problematic, I yawned languidly and began to devour the ramen served to me. I agree with you. By the way, Kakashi-sensei, how are you going to eat the dish you ordered? What's the problem? Hataki looked at me incomprehensibly. Oh, you're talking about the mask. Everything is extremely simple, and, having pulled it off, the Jonin pulled a bowl of long-awaited food towards him. That's all I could say, looking at Kakashi in surprise. If Sakura forces you to take off your mask, she will instantly forget about Sasuke. Perhaps, the man shrugged and continued eating ramen. I have to go, I said, stretching again. Thank you for the interesting conversation and, good luck. You too. See you again. Walking around the village all day, I didn't even notice how it got dark and several stars appeared in the sky. Walking past one of the training grounds, I saw my partner on a tree branch. Languidly looking at the night sky, she smiled every now and then. Deciding not to disturb her, I sat down in the clearing, putting my hands under my head. This girl, Sabaka no Temari, is still strange. Temura's POV. Lost in thought, I dozed off and woke up only in the evening. The moon took its place in the sky, the stars scattered nearby. It's beautiful, but there's not enough person nearby who could lie just like me, watching nature. I'm probably an idiot, but I'm too attracted to the lazy clown. I want to see him next to me, hold his hand, feel his smile. Do I really love him? Excluded. He will never like me. Even yesterday, after the pairs were sorted out, he looked at me coldly. I've never seen so much ice in Shikamaru's eyes. From the outside, most likely, I look stupid. I smile, then, thinking, my face takes on a serious look. Tired of it. I want to get drunk. That's right, you need to get drunk. Then I'll forget this lazy guy. Getting up, I headed towards the store, hoping that it had not closed yet. I don't care what example I set for my younger brothers. The main thing is that I feel good. Indeed, it's the same as if I never drank. Now is the time, it's never too late to start. Shikamaru doesn't spend the night in the apartment anyway, so why would I go back there? Smiling at my thoughts, I bought a bottle of sake. One is enough for me, and maybe more. Speaking of my head, I think it will hurt a lot. And, again uttering the already favorite word don't care, I returned to the same tree branch. It seems that the next morning I will only say one thing, I got very drunk. Shikamaru's POV. As soon as I relaxed, lounging on the grass, another stupid idea apparently came into my partner's head. Without noticing me, she was probably deep in thought, she headed towards Konoha. So I'm wondering what I did wrong? Why did I like Desert One and not Sakura, for example? Although no, it would be more trouble with her. Once again feeling sorry for Kakashi-sensei, I followed this miracle. Laziness. How lazy I am. Temari stopped at a grocery store. Tell me, what does she want there? Hiding behind a tree, I waited for this girl to leave the room. Came out. In hands, a bottle of sake. And what the hell does that mean? I can't let her drink, I don't need a second Tsunade. Just how can I give her a gentler hint? Maybe catch him in a shadow trap? No, first we need to watch her. What if I understood everything wrong? While my brain was frantically wondering what to do, Temari again climbed onto the same branch where I found her today. Sighing, she opened the bottle. What a fool, why? Not knowing what to do, I sat and watched as the girl, pronouncing another toast, took sip after sip. I didn't hear what she said, but I clearly understood that it was connected with the experiment and with me. This makes it even more painful. What are you doing, Temari? Well, after drinking the whole bottle, she seemed to calm down. But only mentally. The mind seemed to have switched off, so after a couple of minutes the Kazakage's sister began to safely fall from the branch. Having picked her up, I headed to my apartment, but for the duration of this experiment, hours. The deserted one, wrapping her arms around my neck, began to mutter something. Trying to understand at least something from her words, I tilted my head closer to her. The last thing I heard was, "You're such an idiot, Shikamaru. And yet you are mine, mine. I think I love you, lazy clown." Not believing my hearing, I looked at the girl. She was already sleeping soundly, resting her head on my shoulder. And why exactly did I get this treasure? I smiled tiredly and quietly added, "I promised to take care of you, Temari the desert." Temara's POV. Well, who will explain to me what happened yesterday? I remember a branch, a bottle of sake, a fall from this very branch. But what happened next? Why am I still not dead, and why am I lying in a warm bed? Surely someone tried here. I wonder who? Has my partner really remembered that there is such a girl, Soba no Temari? By the way, did I happen to tell him anything unnecessary yesterday? Getting out of bed, I looked around. Everything is exactly the same as it was. EXO, what happened yesterday? After walking around the entire apartment, I made sure that Shikamaru was not there. Where did he go early in the morning? He's probably lying somewhere again and resting. Strange, it seems I picked up this habit from him. Damn, that's all that was missing. After breakfast, I headed to the place where my partner usually lounges. On the way, I met Sakura, quickly heading towards the Hokage. I don't know who is paired with her, but I sympathize with him. Just remembering how she ran after Sasuke, I get goosebumps. Am I not like her now, looking for this sloth? All that remains is to find him and throw himself on his neck, shouting, "Shikamaru-kun! Shikamaru-kun!" I snorted. Well, no, I won't wait for such joy. This seems to be the guy's favorite roof, but he's not here. Strange. I need to find him and finally find out what happened yesterday. Are you looking for me? A voice came from behind. I turned around, immediately falling into a shadow trap. Let me go, idiot. Oh really? Nara raised an eyebrow questioningly. I remember you said the same thing yesterday. What? I exclaimed even more indignantly. What did I say yesterday? Called me an idiot, a lazy clown, declared that I belonged to you. Liars. I interrupted him. I would never say such a thing. My cheeks burned with indignation, and my eyes could burn through metal. Ready to fall through the ground, that's for sure. Is it true? There is a note of surprise in the voice. And you also said that you love me. How do you like it? I don't believe it, I said, looking away. I'd like to tell someone about it, but you would be the last one to tell me about this. So this is still true? No. You probably misunderstood. How stupid you are, Shikamaru sighed. And stubborn. There are so many problems with women. I would have said, yes, and there would have been less fuss. I was so lazy to follow you last night, you have no idea. So you were watching? Realizing that the initiative was now in my hands, Nara began to make excuses. I was watching to make sure you didn't do another batch of stupid things. Congratulations, your plan failed. Yesterday I got safely drunk, confessed to you and, what else did I do there, can you tell me? She made me the happiest person in the world, the guy grinned and took a step. Under the influence of ninjutsu, I repeated his movement. That is? I asked, coming closer and closer. Still don't understand? Yes, perhaps they shouldn't consider you smart. Repeat. Resentful. Instead of words, Nara took the last step and, remaining a few centimeters from me, touched my cheek with his hand. Unable to move, I stood silently, trying not to breathe. My body responded to this touch with trepidation, a wave of goosebumps covered me from head to toe. Do you mind, Temari? Knowing full well that he would not receive an answer, Shikamaru asked. But even if I wanted to answer, I would just shake my head. His eyes are bottomless. Help, I'm drowning. Leaning down, he touched my lips with his, leaving only a light kiss. Indignant inside because Nara pulled away, I tried to move my hand. Wow, Shikamaru put away the technique. What are you waiting for? He said, chuckling quietly. You can go, I've removed the equipment. I shook my head. I won't leave. This is your last chance, Nara said, carefully studying me. Where can I get away from you now, lazy clown? I laughed and pulled the guy towards me. I'll repeat it again, but not while I'm drunk. I love you. I think I know what I'll answer the Hokage's question. Do you still doubt the answer? Tsunade just shrugged her shoulders and said. Another pair is ready. Kakashi-sensei. Sakura squealed joyfully, heading after the teacher. It's great that I came across you, and not Jiraiya, for example. Yes, the man agreed dejectedly, without looking away from his favorite book. How long can you read? The girl was indignant, looking at the shinobi. Apparently, she was looking forward to the pleasure of 5 days spent with her idol. Sakura, Hatake said clearly. Why are you so happy? I don't think I'm Sasuke. If you're trying to get distracted, find yourself a partner your own age. Lee, for example. Sparks flashed in the kunoichi's eyes. Then why did you even want to participate, sensei? I'm not your teacher anymore, Haruno. Then how should I contact you? The girl asked, taming her anger. As you wish, Kakashi waved his hand and went back into reading. By the way, pack your things. Just don't take too much, for 5 days after all. Do you still agree to the conditions of the experiment? Where am I going to go? Tsunade will even dig up a dead person from the grave to yell at him for not participating. Okay, Sakura asked, clapping her hands. So why did you still want to participate? For a change, shrugging his shoulders, the copy ninja glanced at his former student. But to be honest, Tsunade would have killed me. She's been trying to find me a partner all the time she spent in Konoha. And here, if I take part, I promised not to touch it for 5 years. After all, it's really time for you to find a mate, the kunoichi thought. You are young, handsome. Sakura, you're thinking in the wrong direction, Kakashi brought the girl out of her thoughts. Take Anko. Haruno shouted, raising her finger up. Yes, better than you, the man muttered, again plunging into the erotic content of the book. That would be nice, the pink-haired girl grinned, apparently weighing up the benefits. I was joking, Sakura, Hatake muttered, waving his hand in front of the kunoichi's face. I got it. But it would still be nice. And, thinking again, the girl almost crashed into a pole. And so for 5 days, said the copy man, putting his hand to his forehead. Just a headache. To be honest, the apartment is designed for one, but, the man looked at the girl, who, it seemed to him, didn't care what he was telling her about his lifestyle. You're a neat guy, Kakashi-sensei, Sakura said, interrupting the jounin. It seems we have agreed. I'm not your teacher anymore. I beg your pardon, she smiled and took a step deeper into the apartment. So where will I spend the night? Anywhere, Hatake said sadly, waving his hand. Just don't touch me. There is not a drop of romance in you. The girl snorted indignantly, looking into the former teacher's eye. Why? Maybe because I haven't found one I like yet? And what about me? Sakura began to be amused by this situation. And you're still a child, taking a deep breath, the man raised his eyes to the sky. I'm not a child. Haruno's indignation knew no bounds. You judge me by that girl who just became a genin and joined your team. Perhaps, Kakashi said, shrugging his shoulders. Or maybe it's because we don't have common topics to talk about. We'll find it. Sure. Certainly. But I'm not. In vain, Kakashi-sensei. How many times can I repeat, I know, you don't teach me anymore and so on. Then I'll just call you by your name, okay? Yes, do what you want, but I went for a walk. But Kakashi-sensei, the man, without listening to the girl, disappeared. What about the experiment? Kakashi's POV. No, I understand everything, but Sakura? Why her? A former student who is still in love with Sasuke. How she shuddered when she heard the name of her loved one. But why then is she sincerely happy that she got me? Is this how he tries to heal a wound in his heart? Stupid. Okay, 5 days. 5 damn days and Tsunade will leave me behind. For the sake of freedom, you can tolerate Sakura. But will I survive? Where should I go? Strange, not a single shinobi on the street. Is everyone really so carried away by this experiment? Even Naruto is not visible, surprisingly. I'll go to the bar. Perhaps at least Guy is there. And I was not mistaken, because upon entering the room, I immediately saw my best friend and rival at the bar with a glass of sake. Do you drink without me? I asked, approaching the man. Isn't it too much for one? Oh, Kakashi, he responded in a drunken voice. What destinies? How much have you drunk already, Guy? I don't remember, admitted the thick-browed teacher. Will you have a drink with me? If I find out what happened to my old friend. Another bottle of sake and a glass for my friend, Guy mumbled, turning to the young guy behind the bar. You see, I didn't get a number. And I really wanted to participate. And are you worried? I asked indignantly, which was completely out of character for me. Rejoice. I got. Sakura. You don't understand your happiness, Hataki, the man added sternly, putting another dose of alcohol into his mouth. Lee would be happy if he got this girl. He would definitely make her forget this Sasuke. It seems to me that you are the best option for her. What? I was taken aback. Why did you decide? Experienced, mature, handsome, lonely, smart. Should I list more? No need, I responded, looking at my friend. Do you really think I should help her forget Sasuke? What if she falls in love with me? It's better for you that way. It's high time to find you a woman, and Sakura can brighten up your loneliness. Fuck you, I got angry, looking at the glass of sake. I just expressed my opinion, Guy said, raising his hands up. Still, Tsunade's student is the best option for you. With these words, Might, having drunk another glass of drink, began to pass out. You don't know how to drink at all, buddy. And, throwing the money on the table, I picked up my old friend and went to his house. Returning to my apartment, I noticed that Sakura was already asleep, sitting comfortably on the sofa in the living room. Following her example, I lay down in the bedroom, trying to forget the conversation with Guy. There is never a good morning. Finally, I understood the truth of this phrase. Oddly enough, I was awakened by the sound of falling dishes. Yawning, I got out of bed and stomped to the kitchen. What I saw shocked me. This is the first time a female specimen has been in my kitchen, and I swore it will be the last. All the pots were on the floor, just like the plates and cups. And in all this, Sakura sat, comfortably, examining the new cut on her finger. Oil painting, what can I say? Good morning. Seeing me, Haruno jumped to her feet and began to quickly collect the remaining dishes. And I decided to prepare breakfast for you. I noticed, I muttered, examining the fragments from my favorite mug. Former favorite mug. I think I'll eat at Ichiraku. See you later. And, quickly getting dressed, hurried to his destination, leaving the girl in slight shock. Entering the Ichiraku, I saw Shikamaru sitting at the table. Having ordered the same thing as him, he sat down next to him. What wind brought you here, Kakashi-san? Did Anko really fall out? The guy asked, looking at me. Yes, it would be better if she did. I'm here thanks to a tornado named Sakura Haruno, he answered, remembering this morning. Have you come across Tsunade's student? He looked at me in surprise. Sorry. Why are you sitting here, Shikamaru? Is it really a bad couple? I arched my eyebrow theatrically. That's not the point, the young man shook his head. I'm just lazy. Laziness? He asked again. I don't want to confess my feelings to her. All women are so problematic, yawning languidly, he began to devour the ramen served to him. I agree with you. By the way, Kakashi-san, how are you going to eat the dish you ordered? What's the problem? I looked at him confusedly. Oh, you're talking about the mask. Everything is extremely simple. And, pulling it off, he pulled the bowl of long-awaited food towards him. That's all Nara could say, looking at me in surprise, which caused me to laugh. If Sakura forces you to take off your mask, she will instantly forget about Sasuke. Perhaps, I shrugged and continued eating ramen. I have to go, Shikamaru said, stretching again. Thank you for the interesting conversation and, good luck. You too. See you again. The guy left, leaving me wondering what would happen in the next few days. It's good that one has already passed. What did Sakura say? That she is no longer a child? And really, she's already, 17? And still there is a difference of 13 years. After refreshing myself and thanking the owner of the establishment, I headed to the training ground. On the way I met Guy, asking me to tell him about what happened yesterday in the bar. After assuring him that there were no incidents, I continued on my way. He noticed Tamari on one of the platforms and, deciding not to disturb her, took another. I summoned several dogs and began training with them in taijutsu. Half an hour later, a little tired, I lay down under a tree, took out my favorite book and began to read. How often do I read it? I don't remember, but I know one thing, I'll never get tired of her. Why? Jiraiya writes amazing things with hidden meanings, and therefore, as soon as I delve into reading, I find something new for myself every time. I'm surprised at this persistent man. I've known Tsunade for so many years, and he's still alive. The love of sake will bring them together, I'm sure. The day was already approaching evening, and I was still lying under the tree, thinking about Guy's words. But the current Hokage also wanted to set me up with Sakura. Still, this experiment was not designed just to answer the question, what is love? Everything is much more complicated, but, how did it happen that I came across a former student? Accident? I will not believe. Throwing suspicious thoughts aside, I headed home. Maybe Haruno could cook dinner? I will hope. But there was neither Sakura nor dinner at home. Cursing, I made ready food. It's okay, I'm used to it. In the morning I'll sort things out with the girl and recommend her a good cookbook. POV Sakura. Got lost. Just think, I broke a couple of cups. And why am I so clumsy? Sighing heavily, I returned to the living room. I wonder what other couples are doing now. Kakashi-sensei, Kakashi ran away, leaving me alone. Why am I so upset? I still like Sasuke, sort of. But I'm so happy that a former teacher became my partner. Yes, you can't understand women's logic. Let's just imagine that I like Konoha's Jonin, Hatake Kakashi. Then it becomes clear why I am so happy. And yet, I don't understand one thing. Like this? I liked the teacher, whom I had known since I was 12, right now. Okay, wait, Sakura, maybe you don't like him. What's going on, tell me. While my brain was in a stupor, I decided to read at least one of those books that Kakashi likes. Having started reading, after a couple of minutes I threw the book into the far corner. This is not for my imagination. It only got worse. Imagining myself and my partner in the experiment in the place of the main characters, I blushed. Well, no, please. Training? No. Surely Kakashi is doing this now, otherwise he wouldn't be gone for long. Should I go see Ino? I don't think this is a good idea. Yesterday I saw her with Sai, everything is fine with them. Smiling, I left the stuffy apartment. I visited the hospital and found out that no one had been admitted recently. Only Naruto came running in the morning, asking to be put in the ward until the end of the experiment. I don't know who he got, but if he's already asking for help, the end of the world is near. Passing by another store, I stopped dead in my tracks. Naruto ran towards me, and behind him. Anko. The guy shouted something while using the shadow cloning technique. The woman threw dango sticks at the clones, thereby trying to figure out which one was real. I stood looking at this picture. I only started laughing when they ran past. Well, a couple, what can I say? I can imagine if it was Kakashi instead of Naruto, and I replaced Anko. Yes, I was carried in the wrong direction, but oh well. We would run like this all over Konoha, and then, damn, I actually got lost in my own thoughts. Never pick up Jiraiya's books again. I reached the clearing where my partner was located under a tree. With this stupid book. No, if it turns out that I will be together with Kakashi, he will no longer see the books. Although, for the sake of love, I will tolerate this. So. Stop. What am I talking about? What the hell is love, Sakura? I started going crazy, obviously. Having bought a couple of books on medicine, I went home, where, sitting comfortably on the sofa, I began to study information from magazines. A couple of hours passed unnoticed, after which I went into the kitchen and decided to cook something and take it to my mother. I deliberately forgot about Kakashi, not leaving him even a crumb. It will work out. He will know how to skip both breakfast and lunch. Having carefully packed the cookies, I headed to my house. A real home. Mom was very pleased with my visit and offered to stay. I politely refused, because I know what will happen if I disobey Tsunade. I still need a head on my shoulders, and I don't want to expose my partner. EXO, why do I always think about him? I'm just making myself think that I might like him. And this is impossible. Returning home, I immediately went to bed. The morning is wiser than the evening, is that what they say? The sun is shining in your eyes, it's so unusual. My room is in the west, and this one is in the east, what can I say? I stretched and took a shower. Kakashi is still sleeping, that's good. She went to the kitchen and made herself breakfast. Only at that moment, when I had almost finished it, the former teacher deigned to come into the kitchen. After looking at all the pots and causing me to laugh, he finally asked, "Where is my breakfast?" I frowned. "Waiting for you to cook it, probably." "What do I need you for?" Raising an eyebrow, Hatake looked at me carefully. "You're just taking up space." So, I got up from the chair and headed to the sink. "Should I cook for you? Is it too much to ask? Yesterday you left, neglected my breakfast, and today I have to serve you? I'm tired of this, I'm going to Tsunade." I got angry. What kind of person is he so impolite? At first he offends me, now he speaks as if I were his personal servant. I'm proud, yes. I've had enough of those years when I ran after Sasuke. It's still embarrassing to remember. Without even listening to my partner, I flew out of his apartment like a bullet. Houses and shop windows flash by, I don't care. Hell, if I like him, that's bad. It's impossible to get along with such a person, how can Tsunade even tolerate him? Approaching the Hokage's office, I knocked. Without waiting for an answer, she entered. A wonderful picture appeared before me. Tsunade sat at the table, looking at documents and talking to Jiraiya at the same time. "Good morning, Sakura," the woman greeted without even looking at me. "Yes, if only it were good," I snapped, approaching the table. "Tsunade-sama, I can't do this anymore." First he runs away, and then he declares that I am his personal servant and should prepare food for him. Kakashi is in his repertoire, the Hokage grinned. "And what do you want from me, Sakura?" "Replace my partner. There are 2 days left, be patient." The main thing is the answer to the question. The answer to the question. We can answer it anyway. Why these 5 days? Secret. Okay, I'll talk to your partner. Now go and rest. Thank you. Bowing my head slightly, I walked towards the exit of the office. The worst 5 days of my life, I said in a barely audible whisper, heading to the training ground. Kakashi's POV. "Well, yes, I couldn't stand it," I snapped at her in the morning. "Why do you have to go straight to the Hokage? There will be no living space left of me." "Everything is clear, she did this on purpose." "Why are you taking revenge on me, Sakura?" Yes, Tsunade called me to her. "Damn, I'm going to die in a few minutes." I went into the office. "This is the first time you've entered through a door, Hataki. Haruno definitely has a good influence on you. She believes that she can do anything. You just don't want to admit that you are the same. In terms of, both are lonely and suffer from it. You want to fall in love, but you're afraid of getting burned." "I'm not afraid of anything," I muttered. "I just don't want to be responsible for someone else." "And you're both stubborn as sheep," Fifth still spared me a glance. "And what do you suggest?" Having given up, I decided to get straight to the point. "I'm sure she's up to something." "Nothing, you have to decide for yourself. Sakura, as I said, is the best option for you. Help her forget Sasuke, and in return she will brighten up your loneliness. This girl is the only one who can keep you in line. Have you and Guy come to an agreement or what?" "Say the same words, you just need to reformulate the phrases a little. You see, even your best friend says that you are an ideal couple. Listen to advice for once, Hataki. That's it, free. Goodbye." I bowed slightly and left the office. But really through the door. What is happening to me? After having a snack, I went to take a nap under the tree I noticed yesterday. But the site was busy. And why did Sakura have to be there? And even together with Lee? They were talking about something, and their conversation became interesting to me. My clone crept up and sat down on a tree next to them, but the guys didn't even notice this. Apparently the conversation was serious. Even more. "Sakura, why not me?" The words of the girl's interlocutor reached my clone. "Why am I worse?" "Because it's not you, Lee." It seemed that Sakura was about to run out of patience. "Remember, I was in love with Sasuke from my academic days. Stupid, naive love. Even with Ino she constantly fought because of him. Now, 5 years later, I can calmly accept the fact that he is no longer around. He betrayed the village, and if I couldn't accept it before, now I don't care. You know, maybe I like another person, but it's not you, Lee. Take note of this, but I have to go. The experiment continues, and I have not yet come up with an answer to the question. See you." Without waiting for the interlocutor's answer, the kunoichi headed towards Konoha. I, having removed the clone, stood with my mouth open. Apparently, Sakura has really matured. Changed my attitude towards life. It's time for me to reconsider my opinion about her. Lee, angry, hit the tree with all his might. It shattered into pieces, but the guy didn't stop there. Realizing that I needed to calm him down, I went in search of Guy. It was not difficult to find a friend, so, after briefly telling him what happened, I sent my friend to the student. I have a feeling they'll get drunk today. Poor Konoha. I headed to the bar and, ordering myself a glass of sake, began to think. Who was it Sakura mentioned when she said she liked someone else? And what kind of feeling does it feel when I think that she chose someone else instead of me? Jealousy? It can't be, I haven't felt it since I was born. A little strange pain in my chest. Has there really been a girl who can please me? And besides, my former student. Either I'm crazy or I'm crazy. There is no other option. It seems that I did not eat the dishes she prepared, which means that the girl could not add love powder to my food. Then what the hell is going on? Do I really like a miniature version of Tsunade? This can't be true. Only if it happens in a parallel universe. Or in Jiraiya's romance novel. But really, when was the last time I liked any girl? After all, the one that aroused my feelings was a very long time ago. I was still, but, however, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that it's been a long time. Okay, let's say that I liked Sakura. I will die. Although no, I will survive, but I will remain crippled. The question is, how can I explain to a girl that I like her? I have no experience, and I have a feeling that the kunoichi will just laugh in your face. Damn, this is all so complicated. Maybe ask Anko for advice? No, it's risky. It is better not to approach Tsunade at all on such matters. Jiraiya, yeah, so that the next book is called Kakashi Idiot, which will describe the fact that I don't know anything about love. Why then did I read all these stories of erotic content, if I don't even know the simplest things? So, I'm finishing reading porn books. I switched to the classics, it's better this way. I can't even figure out if I feel anything for this unusual person. I just understand that this is mine, and I shouldn't let her go anywhere. How complicated everything is. I feel like a young man, similar to Naruto. I don't know how to admit my feelings, it's stupid. Realizing that I was tired of building theory, I decided to start practicing. The alcohol had already entered my bloodstream, which carried it to my consciousness. Now that I'm relaxed, I can get started. It seems like I made it home without incident. Just somehow strange. Usually, when I get drunk, I stay sober. Do feelings also intoxicate my consciousness? Now I understand Guy and how strong his love for the power of youth is. Well, again I was carried away in the wrong direction. I go home and it's quiet. Is Sakura already asleep? It's probably just better this way. But no, after a couple of seconds the smell of food reaches my nose. Did the kunoichi really take pity and cook me dinner? Damn, I'm falling more and more in love with this girl every minute. I get to the kitchen and, indeed, it's set for 2 people. Sakura, I announce in a slightly hoarse voice. Have you prepared any edible food? I'll assume, the girl answered, that I didn't hear it. Sit down at the table, otherwise everything will cool down soon. How did kindness awaken in you? I asked, looking at the food incredulously. Can't I cook food for my former teacher? The girl's eyebrow shot up, expressing her surprise. You can, but it's somehow strange. Yes, something has been strange for me lately. In response, the kunoichi laughed. Loudly. I had never noticed before how beautiful her laugh was. Was he really that blind? Bon appetit, she said, sitting down next to him. You too, I smiled, took off my mask in one motion and started eating. Only after a couple of minutes, noticing the surprised look of my former student, I chuckled. Are you surprised? That's not the right word. Without taking her eyes off me, the girl suddenly grinned. And you are handsome. It's good that at that moment there was nothing in my mouth. I would choke. Hearing that from her lips made me shiver. Well, I couldn't fall in love with Sakura, I couldn't. This is some kind of magic. Well, where is the evil magician who cast the spell? Yes, I will strangle him with my own hands. Thank you for the compliment, I barely managed to squeeze out. Are you just embarrassed? Nope, you misunderstood it. Is it true? Yes. We finished our meal in silence, looking sideways at each other. Embarrassed when they made eye contact. I'm behaving like a little child, honestly. One thing is good, she behaves exactly the same as me. After wishing her good night, I went to bed. And, tossing and turning, he could not fall asleep for a long time, thinking about the confession. Morning of the fourth day. I got up quickly and was awakened by a delicious smell from the kitchen. I admit, Sakura cooks well. My head ached a little after yesterday's sake. It's okay, it will go away. After quickly washing my face, I got dressed and headed to the kitchen. I won't wear a mask, there's no point. Good morning, Sakura, I greeted, without taking my eyes off the girl. Good, she said, smiling. I still can't get used to you. In terms of? Not understanding what the kunoichi was talking about, I asked. You're not wearing a mask, Sakura couldn't help but laugh. You shouldn't wear it. Why? If you don't, all the girls are yours. What if I only need one girl? I asked, frowning. I think this is not a problem for you. I clearly heard notes of sadness in her voice. Could it be that she also liked me at least a little? What if she doesn't notice me? What am I, an advisor to you? The kunoichi was surprised, looking into my eyes. Tell her how you feel, that's all. How? Practice on me if you want, Sakura smiled, waving her hand. I no longer cared about food. I slowly approached the girl, continuously looking at her. Eye contact, what can I say? Then everything happened as if in slow motion. Placing my hand on her waist, I touched my finger to the kunoichi's lips. Goosebumps ran through her body, I felt them in my gut. Unable to bear it, the girl gently ruffled my hair. Her fingers ruined my entire hairstyle, I didn't care. Leaning closer to her, I kissed her gently on the lips. Gently, lightly sliding over them. Damn, I've been waiting for this for so long. He lowered his head slightly, touching his neck with his lips. Making a trail of fleeting kisses. With the next movement, he secured a more passionate kiss on her lips, demanding an answer. Sakura answered after I was a little tired. I ran my hand through the girl's hair, losing myself in her emerald eyes. Fairy tale. I ask you, evil wizard, let this fairy tale never end. Giving myself time to catch my breath, I asked. Am I doing the right thing? More than, the girl answered, breathing shakily. Should I continue? Do you need this? Crazy. Smiling slyly, the kunoichi pulled me towards her. More kisses that make you shiver. You know, she stammered. It's probably strange, but lately I've only been imagining this moment. Blushing, Sakura looked away. Me too, he stated bluntly. Well, I have nothing left to lose. Is it true? Not believing her ears, the girl looked at me. It's true, my stupid one, I said, hugging her to me. I think Tsunade's plan has come true. Who would have thought that I would be the one you need, she laughed. You. What? Address me as you are, Sakura. It's somehow unusual, she smiled, hugging me around the neck. I love you, I whispered, burying my nose in her hair. And I love you. When did you realize this? When I was fighting with Tsunade because of you. And you? After you left to complain to the Hokage. Silence. No more words needed. Only kisses and loving glances. You know what, I suddenly said, but I'll still give you a cookbook. Are you going to teach me how to cook? The girl grinned. No. You will teach me. Number 3. Damn number 3, Naruto grumbled, glancing at his partner. What don't you like, little one? Without parting with her favorite dango stick, the woman asked. I like everything, absolutely everything. Just don't hit me, Aunt Anko. You will call me aunt again and you will lie in a hospital bed. It's better there, Uzumaki whispered, dodging the blow of his right foot. Well, what are we going to do these 5 days? I decided to change the topic of the kunoichi. Sleep? The guy suggested. I have a more interesting option, and Anko said, smiling devilishly. Konoha is finished. I'm all ears. Naruto became interested, turning his gaze to the road. I'll tell you when we arrive. Not for unnecessary ears. Naruto's POV. Well, what do you propose? I asked, looking into the refrigerator. How about playing a prank on the villagers? That is? A red herring, so after the main crime no one will think anything of us. The main thing is a masterfully played role. Agree? What are we going to destroy? You'll find out. Grinning, my partner sat down on a chair. The main thing is to find paint and make them look like complete idiots. I'm in. Understanding Anko's idea, I raised an eyebrow. But this is childish. In these 5 days we are allowed everything. I'm getting paint, he exclaimed, jumping up from the sofa where he landed a couple of minutes ago. No, they'll figure us out right away. First, you need to drive around Konoha for the whole day, preferably stopping at the hospital. Today? Rest, and the woman disappeared behind the door, leaving me a whole refrigerator with food. Paradise. The morning came, and not the most joyful one. They doused me with a bucket of cold water. Get up, Anko shouted, pouring the remaining liquid from the bucket. You'll sleep through the whole joke. So what is my job? I asked, yawning. You will run from me all over Konoha. Don't forget to go to the hospital. I'll be there in a couple of minutes, and, jumping out of bed, I began to get ready. Soon, when I was ready, the woman gave me a 5-minute head start so that I could escape. I feel like an idiot, but oh well. Having accelerated, I wanted to visit Ichiraku, but Mitarashi was already catching up with me. Not caring about food, I created several shadow clones in order to confuse my partner. Not so. My copies disappeared from precise hits with shurikens. Cursing, I created a couple more. The same story happened to them. Oh, the hospital is ahead. Running into it, I almost crashed into one of the nurses. Put me down. Please. Just for 5 days, I screamed, desperately gesticulating with my hands. I can't, the girl answered, shaking her head. Tsunade forbade anyone from going to the hospital for the duration of the experiment. What if I die? Find out everything from the Hokage. Well, put it down for what it costs you, I already begged. Tell me that my leg is broken, I forgot how to control chakra, I fell from a tree. Yes, explain to the doctors that I am pregnant, after all. Save me from Anko. The nurse spread her hands and said. I can't help you, she hurried away, apparently she was tired of me. And they call themselves doctors, I muttered, heading towards the exit. And I have to run from Mitarashi all day? Damn it. As I exited the building, I noticed Anko sitting on a tree branch, eating dango. I wonder when you managed to buy it? I'm just waiting for you, she grinned as soon as I approached. Shall we continue? Do you like chasing me around the village so much? I was surprised, peering into the woman's face. That's how it should be, she said abruptly. If it's necessary, and without waiting for the command, I ran. Again shadow clones, again their destruction, but this time with dango sticks. He ran past Sakura, shouting something incomprehensible. Let him laugh at me, I'm an idiot. Oh, Ichiraku again. To hell with Anko, I'm hungry. As soon as I ordered, Mitarashi runs in and, grabbing me by the ear, leads me out of the establishment. Exo, let me eat. I was completely out of breath. Eat tomorrow, after our little joke. This is a mockery, but oh well, I muttered, jumping onto the building. Where do we meet? At the residence, at midnight. Okay, and I ran on, not caring about the scorching sun. On the way, having met Guy and Lee, chatted with Sai and Ino, fought with Kiba, painted a fence with Konohamaru, ran away from the boy's teacher, I finally got to the residence. I still have a couple of hours left and, to amuse myself, I climbed onto the roof of some house and began to study the scroll given to me by Gamabunta. Time flew by, and after sitting too long, I almost noticed that Anko was already waiting for me. Jumping off the roof, I approached her. Where did you get the paint from? He asked, looking at the cans incredulously. They gave it to me, Mitarashi muttered displeasedly. Let's go quickly, time is running out. Yes, sir. Oh, that is, Aunt Anko. Noticing her angry look, I hastened to correct myself. That is, Anko. That's better. Here you go, she shoved a couple of paint cans at me. You have 3 hours. We meet at home so we don't get caught. If you get caught, I have nothing to do with it. I can tell you the same thing, partner. Grinning, the woman headed towards the rock with the faces of the Hokage. Naruto, yours are 4th and 5th. I'll decorate the rest, okay? Agree. Well, father and grandmother Tsunade, I will give you a good makeup. After a couple of hours everything was ready. Words cannot describe what I see in front of me. This is amazing. Anko also finished her work. I can imagine what will happen when 5th sees this. And not only her. Laughing merrily, I wandered home, where the refrigerator and, of course, food were waiting for me. The morning started early, even too early. Mitarashi woke me up, saying that Tsunade was calling me. I grinned, it's clear why. Deciding to be a little late, I lazily got up and put on my favorite suit. About 20 minutes later I approached the residence and entered the office. Jiraiya immediately caught my eye, but now I have no time for him. What does it mean? 5 asked, pointing out the window. Is it really possible that someone besides me decided to paint the faces of the respected Hokage? I was faintly surprised, looking out into the street. Disgrace. My teacher chuckled, because he only confirmed his thought that this was the most disgrace of my hands. Well, of course, he knows me inside out. But this is partly true. Anko is also involved in this, so I'm not alone. By the way, she draws very beautifully. She put such beautiful shadows on the 3rd, you can't take your eyes off it. I would like to note, I continued after some time. Very beautifully drawn. I would even fall in love with you if you were made up like that, Grandma. Who is this genius who painted you? I complimented myself, I said. The main thing is not to laugh, Aunt Anko will kill you. Naruto, Tsunade said affectionately, making my skin crawl, something bad is going to happen. Am I ugly? What are you talking about? I didn't mean that, I denied, retreating to the door. It's just that red suits you so well, and green shadows are something. Goodbye. I flew out of the office like a bullet. Staying away from the residence for the next 10 years is easy. But at this rate I won't become Hokage. But I haven't done this since Naruto a la loser, I grinned, sitting on the roof with Anko and eating dango. And I, Mitarashi began to remember. Since I studied with Orochimaru. The third Hokage was very angry. I can imagine, I smiled with 32 teeth. What will we do with the remaining time? Sleep. You don't want to catch the eye of fifth anymore, do you? Never. Well, what can I say, they found each other. Jiraiya's POV. Exactly 5 days later, all the shinobi gathered where the meeting was scheduled. It probably sounds strange, but those who participated in the experiment stood in pairs. And they gave me a camera with a microphone and ordered me to find out from all the lovers how those days went. Let's start with Temari and Shikamaru. Hi, guys, I greeted. How was life? Wonderful, Temari replied. Especially the last 2 days, right, love? You would know how problematic this woman is, the guy answered, yawning. But I love her. Did you like this experiment? I asked the next question. What's the difference? Shikamaru said. Anyway, only Tsunade-sama will benefit. What makes you think that? I was surprised. You'd have to be an idiot not to guess. Thank you for your honest answers. A little upset, I wandered towards the Kazekage and his student. Are they students? Good afternoon. How were these 5 days? Great, Temari climbed in, appearing. On the second day, they could no longer be separated from each other, and, laughing, she patted her brother on the back. Well done, brother. Both partners blushed, but Gaara, plucking up courage, said. It was an accident. Yeah. Is it true? Just me. No need for excuses, I believe you. The dialogue between the relatives became heated, so I hurried to leave and approached the next couple. My choice fell on Niji and Tenten. How did you spend those days? I asked. We had a good time, Niji answered coldly. Details? No comments. I walked away from this strange couple, wondering how the girl managed to melt Hyuga's icy heart. Well, okay, I see the next partners ahead. Hi, I said, watching Hinata stroke Akamaru. I see you have become friends? Yes, everything is simply amazing, Kiba climbed in, also looking at the 2 creatures dearest to him. Are you happy? Very. If only you knew how Hinata cooks. I can imagine, I chuckled. Good luck to you. Oh, thanks. So, the next couple. Kakashi and Sakura. No, I won't go near them. I don't want to interrupt their eye contact, Hataki will give me an illusion later. And I already received Sakura's signature blow from Tsunade. Oh, Ino and Sai. How are you doing? Wonderful, the girl replied. The 6th ticket is lucky, really. I believe. I moved away from all the couples. It's somehow strange that in these 5 days Tsunade changed me. I'm kind of fluffy now, or something. I even stopped writing books, it's impossible. In the 5th firebox, creativity is more valuable. Good day, dear Leaf Shinobi and guests from Suna, the Hokage began. We need to listen. I officially declare the first part of the experiment completed. All agree? Fine. Let's get to the most important point. First couple, Temari and Shikamaru. Please give me your answer to the question. Love, the girl began. This is when you get drunk as hell, and your loved one is always there to support you. Literally, by the way. Love, her partner continued. This is when you realize that your partner is causing a lot of problems. But you are still close to her. Love is mutual assistance. Here's our answer. Thank you, Tsunade replied. Niji, Tenten, what do you say? Love, the kunoichi faltered. This is when you learn the true essence of a person dear to you. Love is when you are jealous of anyone, right, Lee? Throwing a quick glance at his friend with a black eye, the guy grinned. We believe that love is understanding. Hinata, Kiba, your opinion. Love, the girl stammered, lowering her head down. This is when you are together, a single whole. I can give my life for the sake of a loved one, the guy shouted rashly. In our opinion, love is trust. Sigh, Ino. This is when you feel warmth in your chest, answered the girl's partner. You don't see anyone around except your loved one, Ino smiled. We believe that love is happiness. Gaara, Matsuri, you have the floor. Love is learning. All. As always, you are laconic, Kazekage, fifth grinned. Kakashi, Sakura. This is when Jiraiya's books don't help in recognition, the man exhaled noisily, hugging his partner to him. This is when you are ready to read a cookbook just to teach your loved one to cook, Sakura answered, thinking a little. Love defies logic. Love is feelings. So my books aren't helping? And I thought that I'm the only one who can't seduce a girl with them. I laughed, but quickly pulled myself together. Anko, Naruto, looking at the shinobi eating dango, Tsunade raised her hand up. Over to you. Love? Chewing another piece of food, the guy almost choked. This is when you do everything together. For example, you paint the faces of the Hokage, Anko chimed in. So it was you? The fifth one got angry, not good. We're not finished, Naruto's partner noted. Love is a risk. Well, that's finally it, the Hokage breathed out, smiling. So, we know everyone's opinions. The winner is, me. Thanks to everybody, you're free. Everyone, at least those who were now next to me, fell into a drop. I'm not an exception. I told you so, Shikamaru said, yawning. This experiment is a pure scam. Okay, I'll go, Tsunade added her word. Then she walked away, singing, as it seemed to me. A month of rest and a case of sake in the closet, I'm free, Yahoo. But there were a lot of couples, I mumbled, but, noticing the angry looks of the participants, I hurried to return to the residence. And if you remember, our relationship was the most harmless. Why describe the time we spent at the residence going through documents? No, I'd rather talk about a much more interesting pastime that came in the evenings. With 2 cases of sake and liters of alcohol drunk, we sat on the sofa. Yes, for 2 lonely and already middle-aged people this is quite common, but not for us. Tsunade? I called fifth. What do you want, Toad Hermit? Let's play. Sparks flashed in my eyes. What? The Hokage asked interestedly, looking at her old friend, that is, me. In cards. For a wish? Agree. You'll lose, the woman grinned. Let's see. Damn, Tsunade cursed once again, taking a sip of sake. Well, what will you wish for this time? For 5 games in a row, fifth has been losing crushingly, greedily gulping down an alcoholic drink. I just laughed quietly at her and gave her slightly humiliating tasks. This time she had to go outside and make the sound that a rooster wakes us up with. I won't do this. The loser exclaimed, putting her hands on her hips. Just imagine, the Hokage shouts at Konoha all over the place. Are you kidding me? Imagining this picture, I clutched my stomach. Laughing loudly, he answered. If you lose, do it. You'll get more from me, and, threatening me with her fist, she walked out the door. She shouted the cherished word in a drunken voice and returned back. Now don't beg for mercy, Tsunade hissed. This is the 5th time you've said this, I remarked, rubbing the back of my head. And she really did win. Shouting to the whole of Konoha, but already from the joy of victory, the 5th danced on the spot. So, muttered the Hokage. What could you come up with? Oh, exactly. You have 2 boxes of sake. And it's all? I grinned. Got off easy. Okay, the next victory will be mine. I'll teach her a lesson. This time I won. Having decided to repay Tsunade in the same coin, and come up with more serious wishes, I said. You will stop drinking. What? She screamed, looking at me. You are crazy? What's wrong with that? Why do you need 2 cases of booze if you stop drinking alcohol? I thought of everything, that means, right? You don't have to buy it. Good. But you will still stop drinking. Me and being sober are incompatible things, Toad Hermit. I noticed, I laughed again, but soon pulled myself together. Okay, drink your sake. Thank you for permission, Your Grace, the Hokage stammered, bowing in a curtsy. Now let's continue playing. And again I lost. You'll get a haircut, Fifth grinned. Well, okay, I said, deciding to take revenge on her in the next game. Now I was left without cards before she was. I began, looking at my partner. Stop drinking. Again? Again. In general, this is what happened. She lost and won. Get your hair cut. Stop drinking. Get your hair cut. Stop drinking. Get your hair cut. Will you kiss me? Trim, what? Not immediately catching the fact that I said something new, Tsunade asked again. Kiss me, I said so. No, I'd rather quit drinking. Well, as you wish, I just shrugged. To hell with you, the woman came closer, peering into my eyes. Sitting down next to me, she quickly pulled me towards her and kissed me. Good night, Fifth stammered, running out of the room. And you? I grinned and cheerfully leaned back on the sofa. Damn, what's wrong with me? The second day was no less fun. This time Tsunade suggested playing strip cards. I don't know what the woman was thinking, because she loses more than me. But I agreed, it only makes me feel better. After an hour, I was sitting in only my pants, without a t-shirt, and on the fifth there was only my underwear. It's strange, but it didn't bother me at all. Let's continue playing, the Hokage exclaimed, laying out the cards. Now you'll take off your pants too. You'll probably be left without a bra, dear partner. Sticking her tongue out at me, Tsunade examined her cards. Go. And I told you that you would be left without him, I grinned, turning the trophy in my hands. Give me back. Covering herself with one hand, Tsunade tried to take away something dear to her with the other. I won't give it back. Yes, I think I've had too much to drink. I'll castrate, the Hokage promised, coming closer. Try. I asked for it, reaching for her bra. Fifth couldn't stay on her feet and fell right on top of me. Yes, the situation is awkward and delicate, but I still asked. Are you going to get up? And I don't feel bad about you either. Apparently, I wasn't the only one who was completely drunk. What are we going to do? Instead of answering, she touched her lips to mine. You'll regret it, I warned, pulling away. No. And I say yes, and, picking up my dissatisfied partner, I carried her into the room. Covering him with a blanket, he whispered. Sleep. Aren't you going to stay with me? The Hokage said, pouting her lips. You'll be fine without me, and without waiting for an answer, I left. What alcohol doesn't do to people. I hope Tsunade doesn't remember what happened today. Not so. She remembered everything, or rather almost everything. Because I never returned her bra, I got it, and yet in the evening we played a different game. Come on, suggested Five, sipping sake. I wonder what kind of box it is. Let's play the yes or no game. Rules? You have to ask a question to which there are only 2 answers, either yes or no. You must answer honestly, and not play around. Understood? Well, let's play, I agreed, thinking that this game was more harmless than yesterday's. Not so. I realized this after a provoking question. Are you in love? And that's where I started thinking. If I answer no, I will be lying. And if I answer yes, then it will be easy to shoot someone. After all, Tsunade knew about this. I fell for her bait. Swallowing the bait along with the hook. Crap. Well, what's the answer? Asked Fifth, grinning. Yes, I answered. Why hide it already? Are you in love? Noticing how the Hokage's expression changed, I realized that I had hit the mark. She didn't expect me to ask her the same thing. Well, come on, how will you get out? Maybe we should stop playing? The woman asked, staring at me with a pleading look in her eyes. After answering the question. What if I don't know? There are only two possible answers, you said so yourself, I noted. Rather yes than no. That's it, I went to bed, and, getting up, Tsunade headed to her room. I, having decided to put all the dots on you, stood up and, grabbing her hand, asked. In whom? Do you really care? Without turning around, she whispered. This is important. I came close to her, pressing her back to me. The man who supported me all my life, said Five quietly. For some reason, it seemed to me that the strongest woman I know was crying. Turning her to face me, I made sure that this was the case. Having wiped away the tears, I lifted her head by the chin, forcing her to look at me. Why are you crying? Who do you love? She asked, looking into my eyes. There's no point in not telling her this anymore. For 40 years I couldn't confess. Tsunade smiled through her tears. You know, I'll probably regret telling you this, but it was hard for me without you. Now I'm no different from an ordinary woman, right? She looks like a little fool in love, doesn't she? And she laughed. Quietly, almost unnoticed. I love you so much, I whispered, hugging my treasure to myself. How long have I been waiting for this? I won't let you go anywhere. I know, Fifth whispered, burying her nose in my chest. I smiled. My happiness is near. Always. Immersed in memories, I didn't even notice how I reached the residence. And the main thing is that everyone thinks that Tsunade traded me for sake. Although no, only I know the truth. She stopped drinking for my sake. And I have to cut my hair, yes. Laughing, I entered the Hokage's office. Honey, let's go home. Wait a little, I only have one document left to check, my love. It's okay, we have our whole lives ahead of us. This is where the story ends.